can I
Yeah,
just
please.
speak
Yeah.
on what Mark is asking? Like, there's the messaging piece of this and the candidate. We can talk about this. But from just a purely business standpoint, when you see a campaign that raises the amount of money that she does and then goes into debt, um, does that does that send questions as to the management of it? Do you go, God, how is it hard to go back to a donor and to say, okay, we can talk about the candidate and the messaging and the mechanics, but like, do the donors go, hey, ambassador, what do you do? You're asking me for more money and it seems like a lot was wasted, or is that not at the top of mind for donors?
So on the debt question, I will say this, and I will be I'm a straight shooter on this, Sean, and I will be self-reflective on a lot of this stuff. But I don't believe the debt story is a real story. I actually think the worst thing that could have possibly happened to the Harris campaign is to us have have money in the bank and having lost. So with a little bit of debt, let me just tell you this, that we did not anticipate. Obviously, I thought we were going to win on election day. We all did, narrowly close, all the rest, but we thought we were going to win. Everyone, everyone who loses thought they were going to win. Romney thought he was going to win. Hillary thought she was going to win. Whatever. The fact is, we thought this would be a protracted election, meaning there would probably be drawn out recounts and whatnot, which would have allowed us to raise more money in the sort of few days after the election. That would have certainly more than undone any limited debt that we may have had on the campaign side. So and we do have a little bit of debt, but I don't even actually know what we're going to show, and that's the truth. I am no longer obviously an employee or a part of the organization, but I think it's an overstated story. And I would make the argument that it's better to have debt than what happened to John Kerry, right? So John Kerry had money in the bank. And sort of got red. And Dan knows this too because we did that campaign together. But and having money in the bank at the end of the day and losing is what really pisses donors off. But I do think the ultimate essence of your of your question still matters. Meaning, yes, we bought the Sphere. Yes, we did these extraordinarily expensive events in the closing days of the campaign. When you lose, there's always going to be Monday morning quarterbacking. I think if we had won, buying the Sphere, everyone would have said was like the biggest cool flex you could have possibly imagined. So and we all expect the Monday morning quarterbacking. Obviously, I don't make the budget decisions, so I can't speak to it specifically. But I get it, and we have to answer for it, and I will be here to answer for it as often as I can be.